All right, so the engine is removed.
The engine is removed.
And we're gonna put a Harbor Freight motor right there.
We are gonna put a Harbor Freight motor right there.
But only if I subscribe?
Only if you subscribe.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, you have to subscribe to the channel, otherwise we're not doing it.
Hey guys, welcome back to Cart Performance. Today we have another 459 engine swap from Harbor Freight, but this time in an EZGO. You guys asked for it, so we're gonna give it to you. In this video, we dive into the removal and installation, as well as give you some tips along the way. So if you find anything helpful in this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Enjoy.
So the first thing you're gonna have to do is start removing your airbox, carburetor, your belts, starter generator. A lot of that has already been removed from this already, but the engine's still actually bolted in. So we'll get to tearing the engine actually out here. But basically we just kind of want to go over, you know, this is your engine wiring harness. So you got to unhook that from your coil. And you got your fuel lines here. You got to take all that off. So once you remove all that, get rid of this exhaust, take the front motor mount bolts out, the rear motor mount bolts out, and the skid plate, and then this thing will be ready to come out. Not needed. Now I think we gotta put her up in the air. So these 4 bolts, these are your skid plate bolts, those gotta come out. Other 2 motor mount bolts that are in the front, kind of up in here. You can get at those from the top side actually. And then the other 2 motor mount bolts are gonna be right back in here. So I got one there, one there.
Kind of see it in there.
Yeah, they're kind of, you get the idea. So we're gonna remove these 4 16mm bolts here. Whoops. We're going to take the front 2 bolts out. So this part is a little nerve-wracking because there's no actual plate that the motor sits on. So once you get the first 2 out, what I do is I bring it back down, put a jack under the engine, and then take the back 2 out, and then pull the engine out the top. Otherwise, your motor will fall out the bottom. There it goes. All right, now we'll bring it back down. We're gonna support the bottom of the engine with this jack so that it doesn't fall out. Now we'll take the back 2 motor mount bolts out. We say there's nothing easy about working on an EZGO. Voila! Now we gotta figure out how all these parts and pieces go.
Okay.
We gotta remove on this. So this entire mount, including this, is all gonna get removed. Yeah, now we gotta get this big old thing out of here.
Yeah.
Which will be so much fun. What we ended up having to do is taking the floor up and then removing this cover here that covers up your pedal box, and you can just barely squeeze a 14mm wrench in there. So we're gonna try and get that out now. Well, I got the nut off. We're getting the other bolt out that holds this thing on here. And voila! Oh, where does that go? What does this do? Are you kidding me?
Surprise, motherfucker.
Do we need that? I don't think we need that. Alright. Not needed. I think I'm gonna clean this thing now because it's pretty gross.
1 hour later.
10% more output. It's what you need. You gotta have the 459. 420 is just not enough. 420 is for a log splitter. You hear 459 is built for your golf cart. That thing go to heavy. Not needed. Oh. Thing's as big as me. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do, since these things are, once you get them in the cart, they can be kind of hard to change the oil on. So we're gonna go ahead and get our first oil change out of the way. I like to run these like 20-30 minutes, let them break in a little bit, get the first all assembly lube oil nonsense out of it before you get it in the cart. Just makes life easier. Oil time. Carburetor, airbox install.
Throttle bracket
Throttle
installed.
bracket. Yep.
Got the air box on with the shorter studs.
And the
pulse
line.
For fuel, next thing we like to do is we like to change the oil before we put it in the cart. When we do that 20-minute break-in period, we also like to change the oil for the first time. You should do this on a new motor because you're just gonna have break-in materials in here. So we'll see how much metal we have in the oil. We have
You always get a little bit.
our pan is pretty clean here, so let's see what this one's working with. Shouldn't be too bad. You get a little bit of stuff in there.
Yeah, the 459 has a filter too. So this is your filter. Let's slide it over a little bit.
Oh, look at all that metal on there.
Yeah, I don't know if the camera can see that, but this is very important for the life of this thing. Right off the rip, you run it 20 minutes and clean all that out.
Might be hard to see in there, but all the shiny stuff. You can see in those screens, there's a lot of metal in there. So, this is washable. We're gonna clear that up.
Looks like metallic paint.
Yes, it looks like metallic paint. Besides, that's oil with metal in it. I just want to be clear that this is completely normal. And anytime you have a fresh built engine, you're gonna get stuff like this. You're gonna get metal in the oil, and that's why it's important to run it.
Big one right here.
Yep. That's why it's important to run it and then change oil like we're doing. So you can kind of see here. Look at all these flakes coming down.
Look at the.
So just a lot of metal shavings in the oil from when stuff gets built. Nothing out of the ordinary here. Just do these little tips and tricks that we tell you. You know, it only costs you like $4 to change that oil.
This is why this is a lot easier out of the cart. You could still obviously do it in the cart.
You're gonna have to. Not like you're gonna take the motor out at the damn time. All right. So what'd you do now?
So we took and we clocked the pull start. That way, if you ever have your battery go dead or something like that, it's easier than where they have it from the factory. So from the factory, usually this comes out the front. So when it's under the hood of the cart, it makes it hard to pull it forward and up. So I always just clock these this way. We installed the airbox here from bmccartperformance. We installed the Honda OEM choke lever,
which is a spring back choke. So when you pull the choke, it'll spring back for you and pull the choke back.
Yep.
We got ourselves a Spectra
real high class there.
Crankcase vent.
Yep. We got our bracket for the throttle cable loosely mounted, because this usually you have to adjust once you get your cable and stuff hooked up to it. Got our exhaust header on, flex hose on.
No, we did have to order new gasket for the exhaust. It did not come in the kit. When we took the muffler off, we needed a new gasket.
Yeah, sometimes you get lucky and you can get the mufflers off and not hurt the gasket.
Mm-hmm.
Got our primary on. We did 20-minute engine run-in time where we had it just strapped to the bench. Ran it for 20 minutes. Went ahead and did its first oil change. Like we were talking about earlier, it's It's good to do a bench run, or even if you can't mount it to a bench or something, put it in the cart. It's gonna be a little bit more difficult to change the oil, but go ahead and get that first 20 minutes to a half hour out of the way, because there's a lot of just junk in these China motors. Unfortunately, it's a really good motor package, but it's a little scary the first time you change the oil. So just go ahead and run it for 20-30 minutes, get that junk out of there, put fresh oil in it. We've had good luck with them that way. I think other than that, we're ready to drop it into the thing.
Yep. Hi.
Hi.
What are you doing with that metal bracket thing?
We're gonna put this metal bracket thingy on.
This bracket, which is your mounting bracket, which has this kind of L-looking shape thing here, is gonna go towards the front of the cart.
Just
Towards the front of the cart. Motor plate will go in this way. Motor's gonna sit in this. It does not go in like this. It goes in like this. And we have 2 mounting holes. So right here is our piece for our heim joint where the motor plate goes to. And it's a little bit long for us to get our adjustment on this cart. So we're gonna go ahead and just cut some of this off so we have less bolt to make that adjustment. Clean it up a little bit. You should try to get this as level as possible. So that's what we're trying to do here. And this piece is a little bit long, so we just end up cutting it. Still looking a little long there. Now we just put the cart down on the ground, and the plate doesn't change when the wheels hit the ground. So this plate, we would like a little bit more level. Right now it is really on level. We want it somewhere, you know, closer to like that. Well, we don't have the length of adjustment here. Even if we cut this a little bit shorter, we're not gonna be able to get it here. So the next thing we gotta do to get this to rotate up is gotta loosen these U-bolts right here. Okay, there's, on each side, there's U-bolts.
Yep.
So we're gonna loosen up these U-bolts, and this will allow us to kind of twist this shaft up. I think you're gonna have to loosen these up.
And
Good.
stop. Right there. And stop. Stay? No. But it's a lot better.
In some senses, it's not.
We're not gonna get into that?
You know what, I hate to bash them, dude. I mean, I like Vegas cots and everything like that, but even when I look in the instruction manual, they have a male going into a female one. Meaning they knew that this had to be this short, actually shorter. It needs to be something like this.
We can fix that.
But, you know,
We gotta cut one of the hind now.
it's just, you know, hello BMC. So before we had this this rod thing here, I mean, you could really cut it down really short. However, we just had some, you know, different 1/2-inch rod heim joints here. So we just went ahead and put a heim joint that's threaded right into this one, so we can make this a lot shorter. That's just the application on our cart here. I don't know that all of them need to do that, but however, this cart here, we definitely needed something shorter to get this plate much more level. We're not exactly level, but we are gonna be pretty close. We're gonna be pretty close there. So here's our shortened piece here. You may wanna tighten that thing up, man. Go as tight as you can on it. It's gonna work out nice. We just need this a lot shorter to get this plate up to be level before we're dipping down pretty hard. I'm liking our heim joint setup here. Bolt, spacer, nut. We're gonna go ahead and tighten all this up here and start to get this aligned so we can dress this motor and get it in. Next, we're removing the throttle.
I believe we use this throttle cable.
We do use that throttle cable, so we just unbolted it here, check it off the governor. Now we have a bracket that's gonna go on right here. This is gonna be for part of our exhaust. And I believe it goes right here, right? So we're removing the throttle bracket. There's gonna be 2 bolts here. One here and one here.
There's a whole smorgasbord of different nuts and bolts in this thing. Yeah?
Perfect.
I had a feeling we gotta like do a spacer in there.
Right here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not real hip on that.
I'm not hip on that either.
You got an idea?
It's gonna cock it. The problem we ran into was the gapping there. We didn't like the gap, so let's put it on there now. Pick up your end there. Back a little bit.
Yeah, that'll work.
It's much better.
The exhaust
brackets mounted. Exhaust mounted. We got our motor plate level. Everything pretty much out of our way. We should be able to just drop this thing in here and get it lined up, bolted down. It should be running in about 20 minutes.
Hopefully.
I'd say so.
Yeah, I even went ahead and I measured from here to the center of the primary. It's like, I mean, this is all just rough, but I wanted to make sure we were close on the plate. It's 9 1/4 from the center of this to here, and from the center of the primary to that bolt. So hopefully we should just be able to drop this thing in, slap a belt on, and fire in the hole. Yeah, oh, you gotta do the old flipperoo.
Yep.
It's not like the club car, these actually go in the right way. Well, I guess the normal way. Let's just say that. Oh yeah. We might have put too many things on. That's gonna stop you. There you go. I think the level might be stuck under it.
Maybe get that in.
What he's talking about is our exhaust flex hose there. I had skepticism.
I think we just
when
gotta
we
shorten
got
it.
Yeah.
She's a little long yet. We'll get the motor set, go up in the air with it, get our mounting plates on,
Yep.
find center.
And you want to show them the brackets for the engine mounts? Because I really like these. I think of all the things that Vegas Karts does, this is probably my favorite by far. These tie downs. So basically, what this does is it gives you more rigidity across the bottom of the engine too. So instead of just having a bolt in the washer, this really holds the engine down. And I really like this piece. It's a good piece.
These will be your engine tie down. That's what we're gonna do right now. We'll go up in the air with it, and we'll get those bolts in the bottom of the engine, so then we can kind of move the engine around and
Give it the old wiggle wiggle.
see the bottom of our plate. We got our holes there.
Oh, see, look. You could actually change the oil on the EZGO here pretty easy. In the club cars,
It's a little tougher.
it's kind of difficult. So yeah, your oil drain, you won't be able to drain it out the back, but at least you can drain it out the front. And if you got a lifted one, what you want to do is just jack the back end of it up, tilt it, and then that way it'll get all the oil out. This one looks pretty level, so.
Groove on either side, so it doesn't matter which way you put them in there, and the groove is threaded. So how you install these is you put that plate up on top.
That switch just.
And that sits in the engine, right?
Yeah. So this sits in the grooves of the motor. Works on either 420 or 459, and it just sits like that. So show you how. And then from the bottom,
You run your bolts up.
yep.
pretty simple.
If you wanted to go above and beyond, you could even put a nut on top of, you know, that would give you your extra locking, but I haven't had any of these come loose yet. Or a little blue Loctite.
I'm gonna take this apart. So these are just male-female connectors that you can just pull apart. And we're doing this so we can run these wires up to the dash. I'll show you what we do with that. There's a spade on the right here you gotta get off. Like, I thought I was gonna break the connector there. This is just a fuse. And then we can go ahead and just take this out of the fuse, like so. One thing I gotta do is disconnect the little oil pickup right there. There we go. Put that back in where it goes. He's just snugging up his motor mounts here. So what I did was I took the electrical push button start off, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna lengthen all these wires so we can put this switch in our dash. So this will just work idle wise. We're not gonna do a pedal start on this. So just gonna show you how to go ahead and extend these wires, fairly simple, and continue to use this switch.
Yeah, we're gonna have to kick it that way. You can see it's... So the problem with that is, that bracket is all the way that way. So what we might have to do is use a spacer here. I'd rather make another spacer almost for that.
Well, let's see what happens.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. We're a little bit off there.
We're a little bit off there.
All right.
So we gotta go that way.
We gotta push the motor to the right. So belt alignment here is definitely important. You don't want to be shredding your belts. I do see on forums and stuff like that, people questioning, why do my belts keep shredding and things like this? And we went over this in the club car video. You know, making sure that this alignment's upright. We don't use a real special tool. I mean, we just have a scale here. But it's straight, it's rigid. And it fits in the groove kind of nice, so you know that where we're at on alignment. So basically what we have to do now is we have to try to push this motor plate that way so our clutches line up. So the way we're thinking we can do that is we're gonna have to loosen this right here and push the plate over, because we do have adjustment on this side to slide the plate that way. We did say that we are all the way adjusted out here in the front, but that also doesn't mean that this is square. You know, we never checked the square of this. So let's loosen these up.
Yeah.
Let's push this motor plate over, and we'll see where we're at.
I'm gonna set this right on here, because I noticed earlier if you loosen it, this just wants to turn down.
Yeah.
So.
And we did tighten these up after we adjusted this, so we would have kept this loose.
Just a little tension on there.
Yep, just taking some of the pressure off of this. This obviously the only thing holding up right now is this plate, so we want to be able to slide on this a little bit.
You want to go or not?
I just hit it. I just moved it. So check it. Yeah, check your scale again.
A couple more of them little jabbers. I think we'll have it. Couple more tickles. Ooh, that might have just tickled it.
One more.
Ooh, I'm liking that. Oh no, that's money. Look at it.
Money.
Money. Cool.
We'll go on top of that so we can show it on top.
Yeah.
So basically it looks like we almost max out of adjustment, but not fully. We still got some room there, so.
Yeah, and we'll have to figure out what to do up front here, because you know me, I don't like it twisted like it is.
It is riding on an angle. So if you can see what we're saying we don't like, if we don't like that this is kind of on a slight angle. I mean, it is on a Heim joint, but we like these Heims to move freely and not be cocked one way or another. We kind of want this to ride in the center. And we just ran out of adjustment here. Just don't have enough to kick that over anymore. So
I mean, it's not that ugly. Honestly, if we just put like a couple of washers even in here,
yeah, it'll move it
would
over.
it would help the ball too, just a little bit.
So this is what a little bit about saying about the Heim joint here. It's like, you see the amount of movement that I have. It's not very much before the top of that bolt wants to kind of not allow that Heim to move. And yes, this is all supposed to move freely, but basically this is where this wants to sit. I mean, it's quite a bit of ways out to be straight. And when we go in, you see if I went in and I got my bolt cocked back as far as I can, there's no more movement there. Now it just becomes rigid.
Yeah.
Or if we move it over here, not that this is gonna move around a lot, but it'll have a little bit of movement. It'll just be able to play up and down as the cart moves and not make everything so rigid, or have this tightly bound up right here where it can possibly break. So
I was gonna say, you're gonna wear out your Heim faster too if it's
well,
bound up.
not only that, but if this breaks, where's your motor going?
Down, 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 down.
There's nothing else holding it here. So yeah, it may seem like we're being a little bit of sticklers on this thing, but
You know our customers.
we feel that this is the right way.
I feel like, I mean, we could probably, yeah, let's just go ahead and do it. We still got, that'll be enough into the nylock too. Now it's just bolted in there, it's tight, but it will allow to, you know, move.
I mean, I know the
That's
engineering on this thing is probably designed where this is over here and this remains rigid, but that weld is
Yeah,
like,
see,
not saying it's off or whatever, however, it can be welded like over here, like almost 3 inches.
yeah, it's not like this cart's bent. This one's actually pretty straight.
Yeah.
But if you guys want, if you want to show them, see, we want it to move nice and smooth, up and down. That way, as you go over terrain or bumps, whatever, it all does the thing the way it's supposed to.
And just me moving it by my hand, I mean, this is gonna rock back and forth as your cart's driving. This is the only thing holding this cradle plate to the frame on the front. There's no other supports. Anyways, back to our clutch alignment. Like, so basically, this piece just slides in there nice. And what he's looking at when he's doing this, he's making sure that this is straight. Simulating a belt riding across there, right? So we got a little bit of wiggle back and forth, but that's okay. We just don't fit in the clutch, but everything seems straight. Like, we got a straight, nice alignment between the two clutches. That's what you're looking for in your alignment.
You will,
You will shred them if you do have them on an angle. You'll shred them belts. They're not cheap. They're about 60 bucks. So take the simple step, do the alignment, get your motor where it needs to go. This is an important step. Don't skip it. Staying on our belt stuff here, we're gonna throw our belt on now.
And see, that's why it's important to, you know, tighten down your motor plate before you get to this step.
Yeah, we don't want the motor plate to move. We just want our motor to move. Still checking the belt alignment out here. Next thing we got to do is see, we slid our motor back from when we first put it in. Now that's the next thing we're doing here, is we got to make sure that we have enough so this thing can actually idle and spin and not make the car
drive it.
continue to go without holding the brakes. So this you might not be able to get right until you actually get the motor up and running. So we're gonna set it loose as we can, and then we'll play with adjustability from there after we get this thing up and running. But for now, it's tighten the motor plate mounts, get our cables, get our fuel lines, and get all that stuff going here. So
Yep. It looks like we will be able to use the factory throttle cable here. And see, that's why, you know, like I said, we leave this loose so that we can, I get this close. Oh yeah, there we go. So that's gonna go like that.
I'm gonna hog this out and put like a little bolt in there or something.
Yep, exactly.
Yep. Basically, like right here, we have ourselves probably maybe Looks like, yeah. Perfect. Throttle screw. Now, I'm just gonna open up this hole, maybe move it over here. We'll see what the master feels like, but however, I think we go like right here with it, you know, or like leave the edge of that. I feel like if we just try to open up this hole, we're gonna get to this and create ourselves a problem, so we'll probably go somewhere right over here with it.
Yeah, just do a whole new one.
Yep.
Do something like that. A little something like that. It is a little toasty. Alright, so now that we got our throttle cable in there, we can go ahead and tighten this down. Plus, by putting that like that, we're going to get a little extra spring tension on our throttle cable there. You know, I wish they would bend these
Just a little bit.
We might go ahead and do that, but we'll see. I think the best way to do it though is to put a slit in it here and actually grab the back of it and pull it down.
Tighten our throttle cable down. We still got to tighten our pedal box and everything in there in place. You can take it off.
Yeah, we'll pop the header back off. And then, you know, I just really don't feel like fighting with it. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
We've done enough of these. We should know all the tricks now. That's why we're teaching you guys. Like, subscribe, keep watching. I don't know. The camera guy always tells me to say that. Where is the camera guy? What the hell? Why are we doing this? Look at that. It's all on there.
Old us would have fought that.
We would have been battling.
Check us
Jeez.
out now.
Maybe I should have a brain injury more often here.
Just take it off. And you didn't pre-cut that or anything, right? That's
Nope,
stock length?
that is the stock length. So if you don't feel like monkeying around and cutting that stuff, which cutting this stuff isn't real fun. It likes to splinter. So this is the easy way. Oh, except for I'm gonna have to get an actual Allen wrench. Ooh.
All right, comes time for the exhaust. You go ahead and put this pipe on your exhaust first, and then slide it over your flange, and then bolt your flange to the motor. The easiest way. It also comes with clamps here, exhaust clamps, which you'll need to install. One on the header here, one back here on the pipe.
I know it doesn't look as pretty running it this way.
But it
this
keeps
way.
it away from the belt, one.
Yep, that's exactly where I was going with it. Ah, jeez.
Not only that, two, they're easier to tighten down when you see them coming loose.
Yeah, I mean, they do.
They vibrate, I mean,
Yeah.
they come loose. Anytime you build something like this, you put something together, just
Gonna say, you're building a hot rod here, you know, you got a nut and bolter after so long.
you're gonna have to go back through and check that everything stays tight and things like that. It happens. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get our motor mount bolts snugged all the way up. We got the motor back as far as we can because that's the way that our belt and our cart are lining up here with what we got. At least we hope. At least we don't hope we don't have any belt problems here because we are out of adjustment.
Yeah, at this point, it's, you know, you're gonna have to get a longer belt.
But we do know if you run these for a little bit, they do break in a little bit and they get a little bit longer. So we might just have to go out there and put a couple hours on this thing, and this thing should loosen up. Your cart just keeps kind of rolling. The one thing you can do is what we did is we put the cart in neutral and we just let it actually idle for a while and just kind of let this belt spin at the idle speed, and that'll help break it in a little bit too. So you're done down here. You got your motor mounts all tightened up.
Yep.
Got our belt on, we got our exhaust on. Basically, you just gotta tighten up our pedal box,
Yep.
put your fuel lines on,
Yep.
and then we need to
cable.
get a choke cable and
And wiring.
wiring done.
Yeah.
All right, well. All right, so I'm about to do the wiring extension here on the 459. I have my switch here. I just disconnected all this stuff from the cart. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut these wires and lengthen it. One of the cheapest and most effective way to do this is just go to Harbor Freight and buy a trailer wiring kit. This is like 14 bucks. and they give you 25 foot of wire, more wire than you'll need in here, but however, it does give you 4 wires together in one box, so pretty cost effective. So basically what I mean here is, like, I like to have all them, instead of having 4 wires and getting a wire loom and all that, I mean, you could totally do that. That's a great way to do it. Basically, I got 5 wires right here together in one strand, 25 foot, real cheap. So here on the part that goes to your cart here, there's some electrical tape right here. I like to pull this back. Basically, when you pull this back here, you're gonna see that, like, the white and brown wire are connected into one. The yellow wire is by itself. This black wire is by itself, and then I have another wire that's branched. So really I only need 4, because all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push this back as far as I can there. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut all these. I'm not gonna need that anymore. And now from here, I'm just gonna extend my wires. So if I can, I do like to color coordinate, match. Obviously in the kit here, I'm not selecting individual wire. You know, you're more than welcome to do that if you like to have everything color coded. I'm just showing you a cheap and simple way to extend these wires. So since I do have white, I will use white to white. This just gave you a lot, so I'm just going to trim that. And then from here, we just have some connectors we're going to crimp on. Okay, next I have a green and a yellow, which I will use just for ease of it. I'm just going to use green. This one I got a brown with green tracer. I'm just gonna put to my black and white. Now I messed up because I shouldn't have used white. Should have used the red or something, because white's not loose. So we're gonna use a different color there. Never mind the white. Go. Got my 4 wires connected. I'll use heat shrink, so I am gonna heat shrink my things down. When I do this, I like to use heat shrink connectors here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use this little torch here. I just heat shrink them all down so they stay nice and snug to the wire. I don't want anything pulling out later on. Someone tries to pull on this wire or something. Plus it keeps all the water and corrosion and everything out of my connections, which is the most important thing. So heat shrink here if you can get them. They're on Amazon pretty cheap. Local stores charge you a lot for them. So there I have my wire connections done. I'm gonna measure out my length that I need to my dash, and then I'm gonna do the same thing with my other side. Now obviously just connecting up my wires I just extended. Recap up. You got this tightened back up. You got your fuel lines ran. You got your exhaust clamps tight. You got her belt on.
Yep. And
throttle cable.
I know where it's happy. I'm gonna come up with something here.
Yeah, I ain't liking that thing, huh? Just don't like it.
Yeah.
I kind of want it to, like, I see what you're
I
saying.
just want to, like, poke a hole right here and just put a zippy, you know, just to hold it. I feel like that'd make it happy. But it does work. It functions for the moment.
Next, we're doing the choke here. We like to use the Edelbrock 8013 because it's long. You can get this at your local hardware store. At least ours stocks it. and it doesn't bind up when you pull it. Yeah, it's 25 bucks, but it's nice. It's not like one of them cheap $9 ones that jam up all the time.
Yeah, these turn out to be pretty good.
So we're using the stock bracket. We just took the old choke one out. We use the same mounting thing here. You do have to. Did you put a washer in there?
Yep.
Yeah,
you
you
have to stick a washer.
You do have to
in
put
there.
a washer in there because the other one's a little bit bigger, but it works. You see how nice it is in there. And now we're gonna go ahead and run back to our.
Yeah, we gotta watch. You gotta watch out here, cause you know I've made this mistake before where you weld the choke cable together.
Yeah, it is metal, so.
So like that, and then it'll come. I feel like that'll be pretty good, yeah.
Yeah. So the trick is we're gonna really cut it like right here.
Make sure you pull your cable
Oh
out.
no, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna cut it out there, but I think you're far enough away now. Oh, these guys ain't gonna do it.
The little guys don't want to do it. Actually, it almost did. If I didn't buy the Amazon ones, it probably would have worked.
There you go.
Okay, now you're looking
Pull
in
your choke
here.
wire out of there.
No burrs.
Push it back in. Now you can go ahead and trim this out.
Yeah, I usually trim that kind of like at the end once this is mounted in there, so need a Phillips. There we go. Like that. Always make sure your choke button's all the way in. I've done this before.
Just to recap you up with all the boring stuff we skipped. Okay, so we extended our wires, we ran our wiring, connected all our wiring back up, we ran our switch to the dash. All we basically did was took this, made it our template, traced it, cut it, put the switch in, ran our wires. We took our main power and we ran our main power to the solenoid, and we have our ground. And we also took our other part of ground right here and we put it to our block. So we got block, ground, we have ground from battery to chassis, power, solenoid. Ready to let her rip?
Yeah, dude.
Hey, it's like we knew what we were doing. Hey!
Where you know?
This thing idles to run. Really, if you look at the belt alignment, it's looking pretty true. So what are you gonna do now? Let it run, give it a little braking period, then get out there and rip it?
Yeah, dude. Hey, worst case scenario, we'll go out and rip it. If you need to go backwards, shut it off, go backwards.
It is just a little shit on the stick. Nice little hill test. Yeah. It's the pure power it has, like creeping up this hill.
Alright folks, that's a wrap on this 459 swap. We hope you enjoyed and picked up some tips along the way for your own build. This project definitely had its fair share of challenges, but we troubleshooted our way to a beast of a cart, and we're stoked on how it turned out. If you loved this deep dive, please consider giving a thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button, as well as check out our other engine swap videos for more cart building action. Drop a comment below to let us know what you think or what you want to see next. Thanks for watching, we'll catch you in the next one.